this week the same way we started off every week, and that is with the horrible movie of the week and 5 reasons why you should watch it. We still really haven't figured out the name yet, but it'll come eventually. So this week I watched a movie called Under the Skin. Now, it did receive a theatrical release, but it wasn't a very big one, and I understand why. The only reason some theaters showed it was because Scarlet Johansson was in it. So, yeah,
That's a good reason, right?
yep, I can't imagine any other reason to show this movie other than she was in it, and that didn't even save it. So let's just start off with number 5. Now, literally, from when the movie starts, past the initial little credits. When the movie starts, nobody says a word until 13 minutes and 59 seconds into the movie. And you might be
I
like,
don't
Brian,
have a problem with that.
I do, because it was really dull and boring until then. It was just this.
Okay.
I'll get to that in a moment. But
Because the old style movies would do that. Like Hitchcock used to do that kind of thing.
yes, but
just
he'd
so
have
minimal
something
talking.
moving you. He'd have something gripping you and moving
you have
the
to know what
story
you're doing.
forward.
You have to know
And
what you're
this just didn't. It was just. I was like, man, is it like a half hour without anybody saying a word? And then I tapped the time right when somebody first said something, and yeah, and then the first person who says something was this crazy like Scottish dude who literally it sounds like he has marbles in his mouth and you can't understand a word he says, so it might as well not have anybody say anything. So. I mean, I could have re-looked at the time after he was done talking and then seen where it was, and it probably would have been like 4 minutes later, but yet felt like 5 hours later. So, yeah, it just got annoying. And that was a theme throughout the movie. Very little talking, which again, some movies can pull that off. This movie could not, and The Wizards won. So I will not be looking over anymore.
Someone thought they were Afro Hitchcock, and they were not.
Yes, they were not even close. But all right, so let's move on to number 4, and that is the movie is shot mostly, not all the way through, but mostly from cameras mounted in like a van. So, and it's Scarlett Johansson driving around this van.
Okay.
So it's like van-mounted cameras on the inside, looking at them. And then when it's not shot there are some outside scenes, and there gets to be more towards the end of the movie. But then the other big sequences are like it's a total black room or a total white room, and it's just not entertaining. Not entertaining. It just gets distracting. It's just like, well, why did this guy follow her into this room? I mean, yes, I know it's Scarlett Johansson. You would follow her into a lot of rooms, but I don't know if I'd follow her into some of these creepy rooms. It's just like all black, and you're just like, what's going on? Oh, she's undressing. Well, okay, I'll keep walking. But I don't want to. It just was sucky, very sucky. I'm saying that right now. Number 3, and this is the other part of why no talking really gets annoying. The score is either this like metallic magnetic sound, like this, like really annoying tone that keeps going on, or it's the same like cheap keyboard violins that keep playing the same little riff over and over and over.
I hate keyboard like when they're so clearly synthesized violins.
Well, it could have been real violins, but I'm saying, why do real violins when you're only going to have the same 3 or 4 notes playing over and over and over? But it was very annoying. It almost gives you a headache at some points because you're just sitting here looking at the screen, and sometimes it's just a whole black screen, and it's either going or some creepy violins kind of keyboard synthesizer from time to time. So it just. Yeah, horrible score. And if you've listened to the show, sometimes a score can make a movie for me if it keeps you engrossed, like Star Trek. That had a great score. Star Wars, why do you think that movie's so iconic? Because every time somebody comes on, it has like the what do they call this? The song for Darth Vader? Dun 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 dun.
The Imperial March, whatever it was. I think it was called the Imperial March.
I think you're right too. It's so iconic. I mean, you look at like Danny Elfman doing the Batman themes, and it's just music can make a movie. This music helped destroy this movie, so didn't really need any help, but it did help destroy it. So yeah, there was that. Number 2 is the movie didn't really make much sense. You kind of get what's going on, and I'm gonna go ahead and spoil what are you doing, but so she's an alien. And she abducts guys to
Seems legit.
take their skin. That's why it's called Under the Skin.
To take their skin.
You kind of figure out she's an alien, and they show like
What does
that's
she
the
do with
coolest
their
part of the
skin?
movie. How she get their skin?
What does she
Well,
do with
like
it?
they don't show what she does with it. I'm
So,
guessing
so
she
you
puts
have
it on
no
herself.
context for why any of this happened. She just happens
Well,
to take
she's
skin.
yeah for 90% of the movie, and then they're like, oh, she's an alien and she has fake skin on. Oh, okay. Well, maybe she steals these guys' skin, but they never really show that, and it just again makes very little sense throughout most of the movie. Number one reason not to watch this movie, it's just because there's no words. Again, all the way throughout, no words. It's just extremely bland and boring the whole way through. It just this movie literally is about 2 hours. Felt like 15 hours. Yeah, and I didn't really have another reason not to watch it. It's just because it sucked. It blows. It's just not a good movie. It's boring. It's like she's an alien by this point. We don't need to see this anymore. Words just escape me because this movie sucked all the joy out of my life for that 2 hours. Like literally. I kept watching it though because I was like, I have to watch this movie because that's what I do for the show. I'm supposed to watch it all the way to the end. But I really wanted to just skip all the way through, hit it fast forward and just watch it go by and fast forward. And I would have gotten just as much out of it if I had done that because, again, there's no words to move the story. I could have just watched it and fast forward and seen everything that would have happened at 32 times the speed than having to watch it at normal speed. So if you're going to watch this movie, just go ahead and make sure you watch it in quadruple speed or 32 times the speed, and you'll know exactly what happens, and you won't have to sit through the whole movie.
Okay.
Yeah. That's me being nice. So this one gets 1 Chewbacca chainsaw out of 5.
Wow. Low blow.
Yes. I really I hate this movie. It's just not a good movie. It was horrible. It was really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. That's all I can say, is how bad it really, really was. So, yeah. So let's stop thinking about that movie. Now let's start